Hey guys, some Gamer Dude here. If you've been following the Dragon Ball Z TCG, you will know that its ultra rare drop rate, while better than the original game by an extremely wide margin, is still a huge problem for the game as it makes it prohibitively expensive and unappealing to start playing. Let's talk about ultra rare today. The Dragon Ball Z trading card game ultra rare drop rate for current sets is 1 in 2 boxes, being from a pool of 2 to 6 ultra rares. This causes an individual drop rate of any ultra rare to range between 25% chance per box to 8.3 chance per box. The ultra rares have been made to be highly sought after, available in all decks to use as they're all freestyle, and in many cases become a major reason why a set is bought. If the ultra rares are dud, the sets have problems selling. With the ultra rares being so desirable, it fuels mass purchasing, meaning any rare that isn't remotely close to being as desirable as the ultra rares plummet in price. With the low drop rate and deliberate attempts at high utility staples in some cases, the ultra rares normally command insane amounts of money, far too high for anyone to trade into or the vast majority to reasonably afford, let alone warrant spending so much on. With a lack of rotation, affordable reprints, or even strictly inferior variations at lower rarities, it creates a have and have not situation that has a side effect wherein people start to perceive their decks as incomplete without them due to the staple status of some. Whether they are right is a matter of debate, as playing skill, deck building skill, and luck of the draw influence a lot. It's also a matter of debate because ARG results, the only ones widely available, are inconclusive on whether this is indeed the case. Nevertheless, this is the commonly perceived situation. Ultra rares make your deck complete and in some cases even playable. This continues into another problem with the ultra rares being designed to be expensive and worth mass purchasing. The power of the cards can cause oppressive decks to form, which makes the issues worse when only other ultra rares can combat them if they're events. There is also the problem of not getting enough return in terms of value in regards to buying boxes. The expected value of a box is raised by about $35 American when a highly desirable ultra rare exists within the set. With ultra rare having a coin flip chance of turning up at all instead of being a chance of a good one, none of the ultra rares are particularly low in value. However, this results in a coin flip chance for the box value plummeting by about $35. Meaning the impact of the ultra rares have upon the game is at least threefold. Has anyone actually sat down and thought why Panini made an uncommon staple from the old game 2 separate ultra rares for this one? Or why for quite some time they went out of their way to make an extremely high quality rare freestyle card per set so that people would have to track them down? Well, that's because it's a side effect of the now mandatory Tokuiwaza. You can't mix styles, so each styled card has a very limited audience. Limited audience means a lower price and easier acquisitions, which translates into less sales for Panini. The reason freestyle is leaned so heavily upon it is because it can be used in everything. It has a wide audience and is made both very powerful and versatile enough to be used in a wide variety of decks, if not all decks. It boosts sales naturally and substantially, keeping the ultra rares freestyle desirable and having detrimental effects upon the consumer feeds into this. The way the game is being done, it's a necessary evil to sell product. The only way a styled card would ever reach the same prices as a freestyled rare would be that if Panini purposely broke a style in particular, which will hopefully never happen. Breaking everything would cause a temporary sales rise as people would have to buy things due to power creep, but would cause a cycle of power creep to keep sales healthy, and that never turns out well. Panini has tried to raise the expected value in arguably healthy ways, personality Dragon Rays being the most notable, also the turn marker and AT cards, but people aren't buying boxes to get a specific level of a personality in Dragon Rare. They're gravy for those who choose to sell them off, and the latter two will become less desirable as more people have forms of them and don't really need more. Panini chose an answer to their problem of creating sales, but in turn created a problem for the consumer and may even be strangling the game's growth as a consequence of this. Boxes deplete substantially in value without an ultra rare, and the game is notoriously expensive for such a niche product. Is there a situation that can appease everyone? Maybe. I have 2 potential answers. Both could be used in tandem with each other for an overall more desirable product. From here on, my discussion will presume ultra rare would be out of the picture completely. Panini isn't on the wrong path with the Dragon Rare personalities and subsets. They're just incredibly lazy. They're nothing more than starter MPs with the sets foil and printed on normal cardstock instead of the thick high-tech stock. They do command a bit, but could be worked on more to make them desirable enough to contribute to box sales. I felt Panini made a partial mistake in Awakening, making them 1 of 30 per box, as you would need 3 cases to get enough chances to pull a full set versus Evolution's case. This makes it more of a hassle than it's worth for such a lazy alternative to the high techs. Evolution's drop rate caused the cards to range from 6 to 10 US, meaning an average 8 and adding about $24 to the box. Now these cards are only desirable because of the thinner card stock. What if they were better? What if they were desirable for reasons beyond their card stock and became something to chase after? Many games use full arts, cards without text boxes, and I think this would be the perfect answer. Evolution's high techs wanted to use the entire picture without covering it up, but were too zoomed out and frankly looked bad. While Premier and Awakening were an appropriate distance, but covered the characters up at times. Full art would allow the best of both worlds. Masteries may not be feasible in this format, but I'm not sure it really matters. We have a hell of a lot of desirable cards even without the masteries. I would do it to every MP stack regardless of set, to increase the desirability of every set. This may be hard for certain characters, as Panini seems to use promotional art from Dragon Ball Kai. Characters such as Tao Pai Pai may be impossible, but they may just have to keep the current template and foiling, or show the background the image was taken from. However, chances are he may be the only one they don't have high quality modern art for. Movie characters should have promotional art of some description. As for the drop rate, I would really like to say go back to Evolutions 3, but this may cause a glut of product and eventually remove the desirability of the cards due to saturation. One feels too few, as it needs 3 cases for the same amount of cards in a set to be pulled. Maybe 2 is the sweet spot. With the new template, or lack thereof, they increase in desirability, but get in a position of scarcity between both releases. It's very possible they keep the current Dragon Ray price, but at the very least, probably deplete to about 15 USD average, giving 30 a box in value from them in the core sets alone. For a standard booster set, the second and third set of the block with 16 MP cards, 1 would suffice. 1 of 16 is as scarce as 2 of 32. I would also consider rigging the packets so that main personalities cannot be foil outside of these cards, to preserve value and desirability. My other idea for balancing out costs of the game is to produce dual-styled cards. Panini relies on freestyle to artificially create demand by producing must-have cards for every style at too high of a rarity, forcing chases for them. I've had the idea for dual-styled cards for quite some time, since Namekian Chin Grab. That card could have easily fit both Namekian and Saiyan. Saiyan Key Web essentially being the exact same thing as an energy attack just goes to prove my point, and would have made a fine Namekian card. You could easily even make a colour pie of sorts with shared concepts between the styles. But the point of dual-styled cards is to create cards with larger demographics than we currently have outside of freestyle, and consequently remove, or at least severely limit, the amount of unnamed freestyle cards per set, but be able to restrict the effects from certain styles to abuse, as well as resist the urge to arguably make them too good of an effect to sell boosters. By doing this, and quite liberally with the rares I would imagine, it helps in multiple ways. By having multiple decks it can be included in, it increases the desirability of the card, and thusly the price will be increased, providing it's worth being used in both styles and multiple builds. By doing this, it increases the amount of cards each style can get over what they get now, which honestly feels needed at the current 18 or so new cards every 4 months per style. With the 30 styled rares we have per set, it comes out to about 5 per style, though things don't always play out that way. Let's say we keep the balance, each style would increase from 18 to 22 on average available to their style. With dual styled rares, we could have 4 rares per style dueling with a colour on either side of the pie, as a cross may run into problems, and 1 for monocolour. The reason I'd use so many dual colours is that these cards are inherently more desirable, as twice the amount of people would theoretically need them. With more people needing them, their price increases, and since the majority of rares will be cards multiple decks will like, both dual style and named, it produces a situation where the rares are collectively worth more. With both of these in place, the expected value of a box, not just the core sets, should jump up to about how much a box costs, if not more, and you have a much better chance of pulling that value. From what I can tell, Dragon Ball Z boxes cost about 90 USD. And though I don't know how overpriced Dragon Ball Z Exchange may or may not be, the average for an Awakening Fight Rare there is $3.93. You get 24 a box, which comes to $95. Presuming they're overpriced, especially for some of the arguably junk rares at $2.79, that does seem a bit high from my understanding, and looking at older sets, this should deplete to a bit over half once the dust settles and the true value of those $2.79 cards comes to light. That still comes to around $50. With the rares being more desirable and hopefully not garbage, we'll argue they're closer in line to named cards in price, or at least between. I would say a conservative value of the rares in a box is now closer to 70. I want to stay conservative as I don't want to overvalue the cards. On top of that, we have the $30 expected value from the full arts to increase the boxes by, and then the foils themselves. The foils, according to DBZ Exchange and the current set, Awakening, average to about $1.90 for commons, $6.70 for uncommons, and $10.60 for rares. This is probably a little high, as I sincerely doubt full named cards are $25 normally, nor do I believe Dragon Balls are close to $10 each. So when we get the expected value of the foils, $38.40, we'll shave it down to about $30. Now we're looking at an expected value of a box of around the $130 mark, which is above the value of a box, even if accounting for tax. The average tax seems to be about 7.5% from what I can tell, which comes to about $6.75 on top of your $90 box. So the expected value of a box is now a good $33 on top of the money spent on it. If you buy online where boxes can be had as low as 60 USD, of course your value goes up, as it does if my estimates are too conservative for the demand caused by dual-styled cards. Not having as many rares per box as there are per set was a good choice by Panini, one already done by Wizards. As was the Dragon Rare a good choice by Panini, all things considered. We just have to maximize those things to increase the desirability and value of the boxes, so that they sell on those things alone and they become somewhat expensive items, but not exclude people from the game, exhaust established players financially, or put people off the game, which is all Ultra Rare is really amounting to right now. I know my way is probably spreading value far too across for some people who would like it more centralized as it is now, and I get that. It's nice to pull an expensive card, but it's really hard to do without doing what Panini did, which isn't helping at all. It's arguably hurting the game and may even do irreparable damage to it by having to continuously one-up themselves. These are at least my views on the problems Panini is facing in sets and how to fix them. This has been some Gamer Dude, and I'll see you guys next time.